Welcome to the Strong Casuals podcast. My name is Ben. I'm here with Anthony, the Court King, Eric, and Dakota Selje. How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
We are in a back office, beautifully beautifully hung with pictures of unicorns and flowers and all kinds of stuff. And we are at Wisco Barbell Club.
It's the proper setting for Wisco Barbell Club.
We're going under some renovations right now.
No, it's great. It's awesome. No, we're at Wisco Barbell Club, east side of Madison. Happy to be here. Just want to chit chat about the gym business. I know it's a cliche question to ask to start, but we've done it most times. But so what, can we just get a little background where you came from, interests, and then what got you to Wisco Barbell Club?
Yeah, so I went to high school at a little town called Deerfield. I played 3 sports, but weightlifting really wasn't like prioritized at all in any of those sports, at least for me. I don't know if I just didn't see any potential at all, but it was nah, that's just not for you. But I didn't really touch any weights until college. I went to Madison College here in Madison and just kind of fell in love with it immediately. Started working out with a buddy from high school, and then I just came way more than he did. So I just kind of stuck with it. And then I started working out at a gym called Anytime Fitness. It's like pretty prominent in the area. And then shortly after that, a couple of trainers asked me to be like to refer me as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So I started working as a personal trainer 8 years ago now.
That's right.
I was doing that for so long. I started to feel like owning a gym could be my future and like kind of what I wanted to end up as. And then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine named Eric came up to me and approached me with this idea to start a gym, something I've always been dreaming about. So that's how we started. It's 2 years ago. Talks of it started about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Sweet. So it was like a pretty organic thing moving from training into... would you think the experience training at the Anytime Fitness compared to here, like, are those drastically different things, or do you have a lot of carryover?
There's a lot of carryover. So when I started out, I was obviously like under the employment thumb.
Sure.
So I was pretty handcuffed on like all the things that I could do training wise with my clients. Even though I like early on, I felt like I thought I knew a little bit better than what was given to us. But then I just kind of gained enough respect in the company where they let me just were a little more hands off with me versus other like trainers. So I was able to do a lot of my own programming, even creating an additional like subset programming.
So even at a place like Anytime, like they have for their trainers, they have like proper programs that they give you.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than most gyms. Most gyms are going to be like an independent contractor,
Right?
Where you have to have like a revenue split with the gym. Mm-hmm. For Anytime Fitness in the area, because they're so prominent, they're able to do this. But they hired personal trainers as an hourly employee.
Oh, okay.
But as a trade-off, you have to do their programming.
Oh, okay.
So they sell the programming for you. You don't have to get your own clients. But then once you get them, you have to keep them.
Right.
Basically.
Do you think that was a benefit? Like, do you think it was a beneficial way to start?
Yeah.
You liked it that way because you didn't have to kind of worry about the programs. You could just worry about your training.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that too, but I didn't have to worry about getting clients. And that's like the biggest
It's got to be the hardest part, yeah.
For a lot of personal trainers, it's basically a sales job.
Yeah.
You know?
That
owning a space is a lot different, and then working at Anytime Fitness was a lot different because things were just kind of like they walked in my door.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, how many of those people came back? I mean, how many of them are here who came with you, like clients-wise?
I can now say legally
that
like close to 20.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
And that's, I mean, looking at all the books at both of the Anytime Fitness clubs that I worked at, it's like personal training is really what makes the money. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Anytime was charging like. Most people were paying like $40 a month for the basic membership, but then they were paying upwards of like $400 or $500 a month for training.
Oh god.
Oh wow. So yeah, I mean,
so does that revenue stream carry over to here? Like most of the income's coming from?
Yeah, so we're like commercial gyms like a Planet Fitness or an Anytime Fitness. They're gonna have a huge number of people that have the basic membership, but most of them don't even go to the gym.
True.
Yeah.
So like a Planet Fitness will even kind of like brag about like 60% of their members have not even keyed in a month. Anytime had probably a higher percentage than that, or a lower percentage of people who have not keyed in. But they still, so like a typical like Madison Anytime Fitness would have like 550 members,
Okay.
and maybe 50 of them would be clients, like training clients.
Yeah.
So kind of a small piece of the pie there. Here at Wisco Barbell Club, we have pretty even split down the middle. So like 50% are basic membership, and then 50% are training clients.
Do you think it's like at a benefit for clubs like to do that, like the basic membership where you're obviously just going for numbers at that point, whereas opposed to somebody like here, if you're getting a basic membership, you're probably coming in.
Yeah, I think here it is because it's just kind of a different vibe for
Yeah.
sure. But to answer your question, I would say no, it's not beneficial to have that.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think it'd be way more beneficial and like financially beneficial to have just a boutique gym where you're only doing training.
Yeah.
So you don't have like an open gym membership.
That makes sense.
Because that takes up, I mean, that's most of my rent is the open gym space.
Sure.
You guys came in and saw like the class. It's like pretty consolidated on the turf for most of my classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't need the extra 5,000 square feet
Right.
for training, you know?
Yeah.
It's just something that both me and Eric wanted was like an open gym. So we just had to,
Sure.
basically it's just training is a way to pay for the open gym.
Yeah. No,
Interesting.
it seems like an intimate space, but it works once again for people who want that intimate space and who are actually genuinely here to work out and challenge themselves. It's perfect because even I'm assuming when you're not training, are you like around?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like it's to be intimate with the trainer and the gym owner like that is beneficial to anybody, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I'm in the gym like at least 60 hours a week, you know, a lot of hours of cleaning. So I'm just talking to members and stuff, but we have just under 150 members and I think I know every single one of them by name.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
I want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been here for how long?
2 years.
2 years now.
I mean, that kind of goes into, I mean, like, so that's clearly this is like different than an Anytime Fitness or a Snap Fitness or whatever, that kind of stuff. So, like, other than that, are the things that you feel like differentiate you from the sort of like 24-hour come in and walk on a treadmill for 20-minute kind of gym?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just the vibe and the culture. Everybody in here has pretty good goals.
Sweet.
I know we can't really cater too much to like the really experienced power lifter or the really experienced like bodybuilder, but some pretty high level strongman competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw a yoke out there, a bunch of bags and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of
You're
sound
not going to
equipment.
see, weighted bags at a Snap.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Liability.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
most Anytime Fitnesses will have like a sled, but that's about it.
really, yeah. I don't even know. It's like so it's like it's almost like an intermediate level in between.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something in between a Snap and a Planet, or a John Hack's gym, where's he at? Wisco
Madtown.
Madtown Fitness.
I do think we have a lot of the strongest people who have never competed in anything and
Yeah.
probably won't compete.
Yeah.
But I would want them to compete.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. As the person who's like trying to grow them, it's like
Yeah.
you can see potential in people, especially who I would call them like independent contractor strongmen, where you're like, bro, you don't even understand what you're doing. Like you have the absolute ability to do these things. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I just
Well, that's like we've talked to a lot of guys that are like, we talked to a bunch of Canadians for some reason, but a lot of like Midwestern Canadian people are just inherently incredibly strong people, and then they suddenly find some niche within the strength world, and they're like, no, I just can do the thing,
yeah.
like James Jeffers or those guys.
Yeah,
are
or
like,
even the strongest right hand in Wisconsin for arm wrestling is this guy Brett Hammond that we interviewed, and it's like he started doing strongman. He's just a giant 6'4" farm kid from up north, and he's like, I just figured I could arm wrestle, and then found out that I was really good at it, and that's what I do. And you're just like,
yeah.
oh, the power to just be 6'4" and 240 just from hanging around.
Do you, like, so this is one thing I was thinking about earlier today. Like, do you get people, because like obviously social media is a big deal, and like our algorithms show us all the strongest people, and that's like who we see on YouTube and Instagram and all that jazz. Like, and I feel like maybe, and I don't know, that's the question. Do you think some people come in to like they want to be trained, but they're like their idea of what's realistic for them is like not realistic?
Cuckoo.
Honestly, I really don't.
Okay.
That's
I
good.
feel like we just see that on social media so much.
Yeah.
But like in reality, I think 90% of the people who come to me are like, I just want to lift safely because I feel like I've hurt myself in the past.
Sweet.
I want to be healthier. Strength is slowly going down that tier list for people I've noticed. But they come to find out here. I mean, that's what we're all about. So
Yeah.
it's like finding health through strength.
Right.
And then weight loss is another big one for everybody too. But that's also been kind of falling down that tier list for most people.
Interesting. Yeah, we've talked to a lot of people talking about just the value of strength, strength not being valued in general.
Yeah, it really should be in just in the health space.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was Nadia Stour's big thing. She was talking about like women being like, they don't want to like get biceps or something.
Yeah,
and it's like, when you realize the amount of work you need to put into like get
you
those biceps, don't
like
worry.
wake up like
it's not going to happen.
Eating a salad doesn't give you biceps, if that's what you're curious about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
No.
I have a lot of those kinds of conversations. There's so many misnomers and myths about just fitness in general.
Just like the weird thing of like you telling somebody, and you see it that way where it's like you tell somebody to go work out, you're like, well, I don't want to get huge. You're like, okay, I promise you won't.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. You won't become Arnold Schwarzenegger tomorrow.
Every week I'm having those conversations, mostly with people who aren't members here.
Yeah,
that I'm trying to get members here.
But I imagine that like that's a hard conversation to have because you kind of got to like teeter the line between like, I can't be condescending to you because I want you to come here, but at the same time, like, this is not reality. Like,
right. Lately, I have been a little condescending. I think.
No,
in my
you know.
later years, I'll usually say something like, "If that does happen, and you do wake up just too large, trust me, we can reverse that in no time."
that's a fantastic.
I can put you on a
Like,
regimen.
if that does happen, I don't think it will, but if it does happen,
you know, if you get people like that, send them to us.
But like we have far more regimens to get people plus size than we do to get them in shape.
We've got ways, man.
Yeah, dude.
We've got comfy chairs and lots of beers. It'll be fine.
You'll be just fine.
You'll be back to fat and unhappy in no time.
Well, it's right. I promise. If you watch all 20 episodes of Strong Casuals, you'll become overweight.
No, like 23.
Yeah, it gives you time to eat your beef jerky while you're watching our show.
Hey, quit it. I had beef jerky before this. Chill out.
Dude,
we sell beef jerky on the counter up there.
Yeah, there were 23 grams of protein in it.
My friend Dakota told me that if you picture food and you can't picture it coming from the earth, then just don't eat it.
I did say that. Yeah,
That's what,
picture it in its living state.
Yeah,
but my beef jerky came from the beef jerky tree.
I told him that
actually
Cheetos
pretty
were
easy to
on the
imagine.
Cheeto tree.
It grows on a tree, man.
That's what they say.
I have a Funyun bush in my backyard.
But that's why, Dakota eats meat and nuts, and we're casually diabetic almost. So it's like,
Yeah.
this
should
is
be
fine.
Strong Casuals pre-diabetic version.
Yeah, dude, it's
The
fine.
insulin's on us.
If you care about your health, come to Wisco Barbell Club, and Dakota will get you straight. Who are the other trainers here?
I just have one more. Her name's Molly.
Molly?
Yeah, she just does like 6 hours a week.
Okay.
2 yoga classes.
So if you guys want to come to the Wisco Barbell Club, Dakota's going to be the man of the hour. He's going to be here. More than likely, he's 100% going to be here every time that you come. I'm going to be honest. This guy doesn't leave the club, so just come on in.
Molly's also here while I'm here. So.
Yeah, perfect.
Do you get any like pushover from the school, from the UW at all?
So we're month to month. We don't have contracts here.
Okay.
Which makes us pretty unique in the industry.
Yeah.
So we do get a few college kids that are like, their semester ends in the fall and they're only going to be here for a few more months.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which always sucks. Like those people just come and go. High turnover for those kinds of people.
Right. Because they were close to being huge, and they don't get to be huge anymore.
Right. I just don't get to see it fulfilled.
They're close to swole. Yeah, but like so then what is the clientele like here then?
It's a lot of 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings.
How do they find out about you guys? I mean, it's like, because if
Mostly
you
Google.
Yeah. They're just looking for gyms, or they're looking for weightlifting gyms.
Gyms near me. Yeah, so we have a perfect rating on Google, 5 stars.
Damn right.
Up to, I think, over maybe 50, 60 reviews now.
I'm putting in 50 tonight.
Appreciate it. But I think that has been, like, seriously the biggest difference maker. We stopped doing ads on social media, like, 4 months ago and haven't seen any kind of downturn.
Have you seen an upturn since you've stopped, or just kind of a plateau?
It's about the same, yeah. I did a big flyering campaign, like door-to-door flyers, just before like Thanksgiving. Like that seemed to do something, but
you could do that again and just pop your top off. That'd probably help a little bit.
I do usually use a cutoff or something.
Heck yeah, you do. You kidding me? You're selling. You gotta sell the product.
Put the number on your chest.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Google thing is huge. I'm guessing, especially for a clientele that's like getting into, like they're not gonna like their search won't be something specific, right? It'll be like, I want to train. Where am I going to train? And popping up is huge.
I mean, simply like the gyms near me thing is like, I mean, that's what everybody sends for. I mean, that's what you're looking for.
It's a dope location. Like it's
actually.
It's like, and I mean the gym itself. We should get some B-roll.
Right. It's a sexy
but like
gym.
those garage doors, that's great, man.
Yeah, it's a great
it's
space.
A super
extra
cool
for those.
vibe. Yeah.
Those were mandatory.
There wasn't a
Worth
garage
it,
door
though.
there.
No. Neither. This was a call center.
I mean, yeah, these offices read call center.
Yeah. So if I forget what these offices look like. I think they were still offices. But if you go on Google Maps, there was a company here called Inspiro or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on that, you can still see the old pictures.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
pretty
Check that
interesting.
out.
So
I
like
mean,
the whole gym space, that was just like, was that still an open area like that?
Yeah, it was. And it was like the cubicle type setup.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, carpet in here and everything.
Yeah.
I like it. It's open though, and I feel like those doors. Maybe this is just me like attempting to psychology my way into this, but like it feels more welcoming, and it also feels less like people going to the gym for the first time. It's a nerve-wracking thing, right? And I feel like it's like you have an escape.
Yeah,
It's like it's like no,
There's the
I'm
door.
chilling here.
There is a
'cause, like,
psychological
'cause,
thing
like,
to you
if
not
I
being
have to
trapped.
yeah. Because I feel like sometimes you get in the back corner of some other gym and like, there's a bunch of people in there, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then
So I think about that kind of stuff, especially when I set up the gym too.
yeah.
Like we're gonna move it again, but where the cardio equipment is, like the bikes and the row machines and stuff like that, it's kind of like centered right in the middle of the gym.
Yeah.
So as you're warming up, you can get a good glimpse of everything and collect your surroundings and everything, and feel more comfortable in the space.
Totally.
Yeah.
I dig that. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's like, as somebody who doesn't go to the gym, it's like, I don't want to feel trapped. Like, and you go into a building with no windows, and then you're like, do you like it here? You're like, I'm on a Stairmaster. I hate everything that's going on right now.
6 huge men behind me.
Yeah, it's
Blocking
like,
the door.
the lunk alert's been going off for 12 minutes, and you're like, God dang it, this is just the worst environment for me right now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like, I don't know. I feel like bigger gyms can also just be overwhelming.
For sure.
It is.
It's like you can walk in and you got like a wall of racks, like cardio equipment, like everything is. I can spin around once and I know everything that's here, and I know what I can use and I know what's up. You go into some bigger gyms and it's like, I don't know.
It almost feels clicky. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like there's the weight area where it's like you don't even feel comfortable going over to the weight area because there's only swole dudes with fingerless gloves, and you're like, what am I supposed to even do over here? You go to the Stairmaster.
Fingerless gloves. That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a good visual.
That guy is there. Everybody knows that guy.
Yeah, every
and he's
gym has that.
pumped. Yeah. He's pumped as hell.
Or there's some like
he's chalking up, but he has fingerless gloves on.
60-year-old dude with a super tight Under Armour shirt on and a gold chain.
Yes, yeah.
He's just like rocking 25s.
Right. The only time I feel comfortable on the Stairmaster because it like stares. You're staring at a wall, and then you're just like, or a stationary bike, or it's like
This is my life now.
Nobody's around me. Everything's safe. But yeah, it's like that whole welcoming thing the ability to, you could sprint off of the bench and leave if you really wanted to, straight out the garage door.
Yeah.
If something happened, it's like
you fail that bench and you just can't handle being around.
you missed your max in front of the boys,
and it's month by month, so you're just never coming back.
You cancel your credit card. You don't even call it.
It's exactly. You blur out your license plate as you drive away.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
And then everyone has to know that you just failed whatever that.
That's true. It's super. It just feels super. Besides the other side where you don't actually enter, that's the Raccoon Society. But this place is very welcoming.
Yeah, when you all come here, make sure you go to the right side.
Yeah, you cannot miss it on the actually
And there's literally
right side.
signs that say this way that we did not
There's a
read.
couple
We
of
did
those.
not read them. So
The city kept on taking those down. We had those for blocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
why'd they take them down?
We didn't ask.
That's probably the best bet.
Broken quite a few laws here actually since starting the business.
That's still okay.
Dude, like there are going to be tens of people that listen to this. You okay?
Dude, you gotta crack.
Are you okay opening?
You
up
gotta
that
crack a
information?
few eggs,
Like, there's
dude.
Well, the first law was
That's what I always
putting flyers in mailboxes.
You can't do that?
You can't do that.
No, you can't open somebody's mailbox.
Oh, I saw
That is a
felony.
felony.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? 4th of July
Dude,
comes around.
You know how boring
There's
or
an
like how
M80 in there.
bored a federal agent or a cop has to be like, yeah, whatever.
Unless you see
Okay.
a block
I
of
guess it makes
mailboxes
sense.
that are all just, I don't even understand. If you see a guy opening mailboxes,
But you can
putting
just
in
stick it in their door then, right? Is that legal?
Yeah, but it was just a windy day, so I did mailboxes.
No, yeah, no, I wouldn't too.
Mail slots are less active than they used to be.
There was our only bad review, and we got it removed because we could prove that she'd never been in the building.
That's so
Nice.
funny. You can fight those things. That's so cool.
That is cool, actually. That's cool.
I like
Takes a minute,
that.
but yeah.
I bet it's not quick. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a quick thing.
So, What was I going to ask? Oh, so you were saying that like weight loss is lowering priority, like strength is kind of lowering priority. Have you noticed like anything, like specific things within the world of maybe strength and fitness that are like seemingly getting more popular?
Health for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and with that is coming strength again too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just less like the 80s, 90s, like bro culture just gets strong and freaking huge.
Right.
And more like, I know that strengthening myself is going to help me be healthy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you get like some like longevity people who are like maybe aging a bit and they're like, hey, I want to like be able to fall and not.
I'm 110. I want to be 140. Eli comes in like that. Hey, like this guy is about it.
Yeah, we get a good mix. I mean, I train my eldest client right now is 80.
Dang.
Yeah, that rolls.
And she looks 60. You know, she's been in
you'd
fitness all of
imagine.
her life. Yeah, my youngest clients, like I'm training a 17-year-old right now. I'm training as young as 13 years old.
And that 13-year-old looks 6. He looks so good. She's looking healthier than ever. She's looking 5.
She is now a fetus.
He's just aging in reverse.
Dude, he's incredibly healthy.
I've been training Benjamin Button for 25 years.
Maybe it's not a good thing to train people so young if it de-ages you like that. It's not healthy.
Sure, you want to start at a higher.
Yeah, dude, there's got to be like the law of diminishing returns. You're going to eventually.
Maybe that's just why you're waiting to.
Yes,
train.
it is.
You don't want to start too early.
Dude, I'll look at 21 in like 15 years. I'll start later.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
You can start your journey here at Wisco Barbell.
I could. I will.
Okay. So you said you have classes on top of the personal training. What is like class? Are classes attended well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no personal training, actually, just 2 types of classes.
Oh, okay.
So we do like a small group. I call it personal training, but it is up to 4 people.
Okay.
And then a larger group up to 10 people.
Oh,
So
okay.
2 different price points. It's $3.99 a month for the small group training. Essentially, you're going to get more like barbell work, more machines, a little bit more of a strength focus, like a serious strength focus. And then the larger group class is $199 a month. And that's just for up to 10 people. And then it's a lot more like, instead of barbells and machines, it's more dumbbells and kettlebells.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
just more accessible for a larger class size. Strength
Yeah.
is still a priority, but it's not like, if I were to take the absolute like scientific approach, that's not the approach I would go for sheer strength.
Yeah.
True. Do you because I'd imagine even in a class of like a handful of people, like ability is going to be relatively different. Is it hard to mitigate like this dude who's like probably maybe pre-trained and like knows what he's doing versus someone who maybe doesn't?
Yeah, it definitely has its challenges, but I love those challenges. Like a really good example of that was my class yesterday at 4. I had a young woman who squats 330 pounds, an 80-year-old man who can barely squat his body weight, 80-year-old woman who's like decently fit for her age,
Sure.
and then another guy with brain damage, so forgets everything all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that in one session, and we're all doing
Man.
the same program. So I just have to go back and forth, checking weights and all that.
And that was in your
challenge, but
small
it's
or a large group?
small group.
Okay, so that in that sense, it's easier to work with that because
Yeah,
it's a small group.
Definitely more intimate. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you like that challenge. I mean, I feel like you've got to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you got to love the training part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The like personal interaction stuff, because I feel like a lot of, I don't know this, but like I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I do know this. But I feel like a lot of people maybe start gyms because they like to train, but then find out that like, well, it's not just me getting to train all the time. It's like me having to do things.
Yeah, being a personal trainer is not you just getting independently swole just the whole time. Yeah.
And then someone watches you. Like,
You're right.
Yeah.
There's a weird narrative about like personal trainers, like especially like extended family. They always say like, so you work out like 8 hours a day? I'm like, no, sometimes I don't even work out 1 hour.
Yeah, like he's not working out with the class every time. That'd be crazy.
It's like those biking classes where the person's in the front with the mic
Yeah, I
on.
think that's what they're envisioning or something.
Yeah.
The person who's in charge of a spin class wants to work out, I'd imagine, every day. That's what they're doing. I mean,
Just all day long.
yeah, like if
I feel like a lot of those are part-time jobs though too, so it's not.
And
8
they're
hours.
probably on coke.
right,
Yeah, that's
exactly. It's the class seems like it.
mean, they're-
No, like neon lights in a spin class. You're like,
you get that at the front
this
door.
is just crazy. It's like everybody's on Molly in the spin class. This is
Globo
this is
gym.
psychotic.
That would be a different kind of spin class.
Yeah, dude, it's like a discotheque in there. You're like, this is wild. It's noon. We need to chill out.
Dude, shut the lights off. You can do whatever time you want.
This is crazy. Well, I think about like, because yeah, you went from like, yeah, at Deerfield, nobody freaking cares about like weightlifting. It seems I've spoken to like the athletic director there, Matt, now, and it seems like they try to do weights for all the sports now, which is cool because it certainly helps for a lot of things. Like when you had no fitness in Deerfield, and then you just start working out with Ev, and then all of a sudden you enjoy it. Then I'm just like, what does it take to like? Why did you stick with like fitness and working out? Like, because most people like, oh, this is hell. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you not say that?
So we can get a little deeper on that.
Yeah.
So the original, like the first time I went to the gym was actually with Trey Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
And we went because prior to that, like the weekend prior, a friend of mine, Danny, and I got into a brawl at a house party.
Right.
Which I still have a scar from.
I remember. I may or may not have been there.
Stupid. No, you weren't.
Good.
Really stupid fight. And it was like one of the only fights I ever got into, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like 140 pounds, like 6'1", just like this tiny little twig.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't like that. I just didn't like getting pushed around and shit that night, you know? And then...
to be not in control of yourself during a fight is a scary thing.
Yeah.
Not in charge of the whole situation it's bad.
Yeah, it was a little traumatic.
Yeah.
So then hit the gym literally the next weekend, and then just kind of had a knack for it, like for form and like the visual feedback I got from the mirror, like how to tweak things. Like if I knew what the right form was, I was pretty easy like to implement that for me. So then it was just kind of had a knack for it and just liked it a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But then like the reason why I stuck with it is like the confidence boost for sure.
Yeah.
So also being 140 pounds and 6'1" in high school, and I get a whole lot of attention from especially women.
Yeah.
And once you start putting on 10, 20, 30 pounds of muscle at 18, 19 years old, it's like you start to get a little more attention. And
right.
I just love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just made life better.
Yeah.
I think I was 140 pounds in like eighth grade. Not in a good way.
Well, I think
not in a good way.
You did think about, I mean, how much time has passed. It's like, yeah, I like didn't wrestle in high school, but then I wanted to my senior year, so I wrestled JV. I wrestled at 135 pounds. Like you're like, oh,
I like
high schools are small.
Yeah, everybody you're just small in high school, unless
dude. I
you're
see
just
high
a big
schoolers every day.
I know
some of them are.
No, but you're
Times
also
are changing.
you're also
Some
going
of-
to bigger schools sometimes.
No, I know, but let's talk about that for a second, because I will agree. Like, I mean, I played sports in high school too, but like, yeah, we had our little teeny weight room, and like, I feel like the only push to go there was like if your team had some expected time in there, and it wasn't for like, it was just for messing around or
it's
like
for the president's test. That's what it's for, dude. The president's test.
flexed arm hang, man.
Yes. Dude.
But I feel like it wasn't lifting for lifting's sake.
No.
Right.
And I go back, like I like to lift now a decent amount, and like I feel like had there been the opportunity to just like, I don't want to play a sport, like I just want to lift heavy things, and like I think that if that would have been an opportunity for me in high school, I feel like I would have done it. And it's a totally different, like now teaching in high schools, like it's a totally different world. Like kids have lift after school, or they have it as a part of their PE classes, and they just do it. Like, and then it's not like, you're on the football team, you need to put in so many hours in the weight room. It's just like, no, I just want to go lift.
Well, and I think they did also at one point too, because I mean, even when we were the few times we were in there, I mean, there was weight room records in there. I mean, there was
From the 80s.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
but
saying.
They were old.
That's what I'm saying. At one point it was,
Or
and then it was
just Todd
forgotten.
Malick in there, just like
If you look at the records,
destroying some
it was a
stuff.
lot
No,
of
I know,
like
not the record,
it was like a lot of the throwers, like all the
Jeremos.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the track and field stars, like who were doing discus and shot.
Jermaine Jeremo was in there with like some crazy.
Yeah, all the Jeremos were on there. Every
Awesome.
generational Jeremo was on there. But yeah, it's like, and then it was just kind of forgotten post like 88, and then it never really. It's
People who know like old school Wisconsin powerlifting still bring up the Jeremos.
I believe it.
Like I had a client a couple of years ago in Madison that was like, Bruce Jeremo was like the big one. He's like,
Yeah.
I remember I had to like spot for Bruce once, and it was like a world record attempt at the time or something like that. Nobody knows what the fuck anyone's talking about when it comes to federations record
Right.
attempts, but
Well, yeah.
But still, I mean, it's just like, well, and that's the weird thing about high school too, is like, my cousins, a lot of my cousins go to Toma, and Toma has weightlifting, and a lot of my cousins do like weightlifting, and a lot of schools have weightlifting.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
live
just-
in a dead zone. I looked at this because I was like, I would totally coach a high school powerlifting team. And I looked at the map, and there's literally just a hole. Like Madison is just a hole.
But what
there's
is-
some people over at like there's a couple high schools around Milwaukee that'll do it, and then there's like a line. It's like if you go to like Stevens Point, the middle of the state, and north, they've all got it.
But why is that? Is that a
And I don't-
referendum thing?
I don't know what it is. I mean, I've tried.
Like,
tried
how do
them-
you get a sport in your school?
Oh no, I mean that would just be a matter of like going through whatever. But the problem is, like, I'm willing to put in the work and whatever, but
Yeah.
to go to a meet, we'd have to drive to Milwaukee or Stevens Point.
This is, I mean,
And it's like I don't like it.
you have to do that. I mean, sadly, you just have to, it's
I mean,
like,
it wouldn't happen very often because the meets aren't all that often. But
Right.
it's just weird to me that there's a big empty space, and I don't know why that is, and I don't know if it's like in general people are not overly supportive of it. I don't know, and I don't know if there's a history behind it. Maybe there is, but
but also the cool thing about that is like, dude, as a kid in high school, dude, take me away for a 3-hour drive to get to a meet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but
like,
some of these kids, dude, I talked to some of these kids and they're like in the weight room and they're putting up crazy numbers.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
High schools are
there's some
insane
genetic
these days.
freaks in there.
that's when you're
And
at
they
your
don't
prime,
even
literally.
try.
It's kind of gross. You're at your,
They're like-
if somebody would just tell you're at your physical prime when you're like 17 and start doing things now, it
Yeah,
would have changed
exactly.
lives.
Yeah.
Or 13.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
9.
4. My
You win.
son, 3.5.
You win. You win.
I had him. He was doing some dumbbell presses. the other day.
Okay, chill out.
It was just one dumbbell and it was a pound. He still did it. And then he got mad at me and didn't do anymore.
Just keep ankle weights on him at all times of the day.
Take
Just
him
to
off.
increase the weight over
Yes.
time.
Yeah, dude. His calves will just be just out of.
Take him off and Usain Bolt.
That would be incredible. But yeah, I mean, high school. That's when they should be doing it, and I'm glad it is becoming more of a thing now than
Becoming more trendy.
Yeah, it's all about trends, really.
It really is.
It's
lot of
speaking
good
of
things
trends.
are
You had a
becoming trendy.
question about trend. I mean, fitness trends in general.
Oh, I thought you were saying trend.
No, not trend.
Oh,
Trends.
fitness trends.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say about that?
They're trendy.
No, this has become a bad word, but do you think CrossFit had anything to do with that?
Yeah, they had a huge part.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
I,
a trend.
I definitely credit CrossFit for bringing like a new demographic into the gym, and that's like the mom who wants to be badass again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it fucking like severed spines and hurt a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
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 That's where gyms like me come in. You come after CrossFit.
Yeah.
We call it CrossFit rehab. I got a lot of former CrossFitters.
I like to hear that.
CrossFit's kind of our Voldemort. We don't really talk about it because we hate the concept of it because it only just ruins people's bodies, and it does feel like more of a power trend than anything. There's to see longevity in something as crazy as that is
It'll
kind
probably
of
go away.
yeah.
I think I've referenced this multiple times, but Brian Shaw was interviewed by Juji Mufu like long time ago. And I think he put it best. He said that like if people want to like people can wake up and just be a CrossFitter. Like there's no like you can just like get a membership to a cube or whatever they called them and like you can just be a CrossFitter. And so it's like the barrier to entry is non-existent.
Right. You just have to show up and
yeah.
then call
And then-
yourself that, be a part of the cult.
Yeah.
Right. And then suddenly you're injured and hurt and trying to like clean things that like you can't.
Yeah, but I did a 50-meter sprint before I did that clean.
Yeah. But I think I'm also just like slightly jaded because of Rogue and like because of what I love Rogue, but I mean like because of this is like immediate injection of funding and money and like suddenly having this massive thing of strength when there's like been these like sort of mainstays of strength that have existed for so long.
Right.
And they just jumped in and they were like the new shiny thing. And everyone's like, oh yeah, let's do that. And it's like, well, no, but they're like legitimate strength sports. And
It's like, yeah, there's Ben's powerlifting and strongman, and then they're like, but we're both kind of. And you're like, no.
Well, they got around that by saying the fittest,
Right.
yeah,
not the strongest.
right.
It's like, yeah, does your body look insane? Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are very insanely fit.
Yeah,
for sure.
they are for sure fit. It's just none
But
of that.
At what cost?
Yeah, none of that.
And I
is-
don't think it's not tested, is it? I don't think it's tested.
They say they are, but there's.
That's
I mean,
BS.
Welcome to everything, right?
Yeah, I think it's way worse.
I'm
'cause
sure.
It's all like they don't bring in USADA or anything like that. It's like all.
I look at
in-house.
them.
Right.
I mean, like one of the women who had won like 3 years in a row was just like 6 months pregnant for the last invitational.
Tia Toomey. Yeah.
Tia Toomey, and you're just like, what are your child inside of that womb
I'm
is
surprised she could get pregnant.
is having a panic attack? Like seriously.
But there's a massive incentive to keep her like at the top. Like she's now like the villain, you know.
She's
So
from
I watch
Australia,
CrossFit
right?
games.
She's Australian.
Yeah. But she's like legit strong. So she won Olympic world records in weightlifting.
Yeah,
That was kinda
you
like
can
her come
tell.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, her technique, her powerlifting. I only see her because they do the Rogue Invitational between strong and CrossFit, and so I see them, and you're just like,
Yeah.
some of those women are just, I mean, outstandingly fit.
Well, they're strong. No one's doubting that they're strong. And
they're fit,
people.
dude.
I mean, I also
They're
think
missing 6 vertebrae, but they're fit.
they're fused from C1 to T4. Yeah. No, I mean, like, but what was I gonna say? Your joke threw me off.
I apologize.
Fitness trends, CrossFit.
Yeah.
Pregnant while you're.
Oh, but I mean, I think like if you look at a lot of their training splits, it's still back to the same standard stuff, like you see in strength. So it's like, I feel like they were like made it all nice and shiny and had, I don't know, weird
You just think the events.
wads or whatever. And like, it's like, but I think people miss the whole like, well, you can just like do some pretty standard lifts and get pretty strong. And that's how these people got strong in the first place. And then they just sort of like move their way into CrossFit. But
What do you think is? I mean, this is kind of to both of you. I mean, why is CrossFit so? Because honestly, it's not that. It is fun to watch sometimes, but why do you think people care so much more about that than something like powerlifting or strongman? Because
I think there's an event for everybody. For one, powerlifting events for one are incredibly boring.
Yes, they are.
I mean, you're sitting around, and especially if you're going to one, you're sitting around for the whole day
Yeah,
doing mostly nothing.
we talk about that how nobody would powerlift, like unless you're watching like something like a WPO or like where it's like they're trying to make the thing exciting. A powerlifting like event is just like waiting in line for the next guy to do their thing.
I think powerlifting is really cool for like the novice to advanced lifters,
Powerlifters, yeah.
or people who don't even powerlift, but like who can put up some pretty serious weight, who are like 181 pounds,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh shit, this guy's in the 181 pound weight class. He's lifting twice as much as me.
The
It's
weight
like,
being relatable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like holy shit, that's 3 times more than me, or it's like it's 2 times that person's body weight. I'm at 1.75 times my body weight. Like I might be able to actually get there or something,
right.
Yeah. So then, so obviously if powerlifting is so why is CrossFit obviously more captivating to watch then? Because if you say you watch all the CrossFit, and I granted,
I'd watch all the like the big games.
Yeah.
I watch that every year, but that's literally it.
yeah.
Like I don't keep up throughout the season at all. I just want to see like those 3 days.
Like, did you go to the CrossFit games when they were in Madison?
No interest. Way
Yeah.
better view on YouTube.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong
Yeah.
there.
Hey, YouTube.
You're not wrong.
Looking at you. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it's also like the barrier to entry is really low, like I said before. So like people can see themselves. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did that same exercise.
Your neighbor's
whatever.
mom
Right.
could be in it, and you're like, oh, it's cool, she's there.
It also just had a massive influx of like money and
Why
marketing.
is that? Why is that? Why it became so huge so instantly? Like Rogue just gave them.
I mean, getting Rogue is massive.
Yeah. It put it in the national spotlight for sure, the international spotlight.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time, and we like with like strongman being kind of like, I mean, it's kind of a sideshow, right? It has to be like fun to watch. Absolutely, powerlifting is not fun to watch, and I think you get the people that go to powerlifting meets are either related to or like friends of someone who's in it,
For sure.
or they're interested in themselves and they just want to see how it works. But like,
Yeah.
That's a good point. There's almost no like paying spectators.
right?
Yeah, it was.
And I think the like something with the CrossFit games, like it's faster paced. The like the numbers, the expression of strength is like relatable. Because like, I mean, we talk
Yeah.
about this, and I think we should even maybe do like a whole thing on it. Like, I don't feel like people outside the world of strength, and maybe you can attest to this, like they don't have a context for how heavy things are.
Oh, they have no idea.
So it's like you can tell, like you can look at a powerlifting meet and like some dude, like somebody 180 or someone in like whatever the 80 kilo class or something is like lifting some insane amount of weight. But the person looking is just like, oh, it looks heavy.
Right.
And it's like they have no context to like what that weight is. Whereas in like CrossFit, like I can see you running, I can see you doing this like extreme strenuous thing that I have some context for. So maybe I want to watch that. Or like in strongman, that's why like lifting cars, like cars are heavy.
Yeah.
I know cars are heavy. Like I see this guy lift one, I understand it. And so like,
Right.
I don't know. I think
I get the concept of running 2 miles with a 40-pound ruck. That doesn't seem like a good time. So it's like stuff like that where you're like, it makes sense. It's like we need mom to have a 250 kilo log in the living room while we're watching strongman so she can understand what's going on.
I mean, I think when you get into like the big numbers where people are putting up like, well, I mean, when you get in like the multiply stuff where people are putting up like 3K or something,
Right.
Like then they're like, whoa.
Somebody hears
that's a big
1,000
number.
pounds and their head explodes. You know, it's like stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
but at the same time, like you could tell someone they have 1,000 pound total and they'll be like,
But you say total and they're instantly out of it. Like, what do you even mean total?
yeah.
Dude, most of my clients don't even know what any of that is.
Well, and that's cool. That's like kind of, you know, it's like you can, they're also a blank service where it's like, the nice thing is it's like, well, you don't need a total.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's like, you don't, it's,
Yeah. Well, unless you're going to compete, I guess.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
it's kind of like, I mean, but then it's at the same time, powerlifting is not fun to watch, but like something like WPO, when a guy gets in there and he's like vacuumed into like 4 suits, and you're like, well, this is kind of freaky. And then there's like the bar is bending just sitting on the bench, and you're like, there's something going on here. Like,
Yeah, but I feel like I mean, I don't know, like I feel like if people knew like the relatively small amount of work they have to put in to get a literal bar bending squat, they might do it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, because that feeling, I mean, that's a cool feeling.
yeah, heck yeah, it is.
But I don't know.
Very powering.
Yeah.
I wish I could bend bars.
You get there.
I'm gonna come in here and bend bars, man. I want to come bend bars, dude.
Bend Snickers bar.
I got a deadlift bar out there. It's a little easier to bend.
Dude, nice, dude. I
Little
need some of the crazy
You
flex.
could do half Thor's 501 that he never did.
This is true. Do you watch strongman at all, Dakota?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mostly like the Arnold stuff.
Yeah.
So I was actually there when Eddie Hall broke the record for the first time.
Were you? That was your first Arnold?
Yeah, that was in
Because that was a while ago.
like 2016 now or something
Yeah.
like that.
Now, why did you go to the Arnold in 2016? Is this when you were super hype about lifting and training?
Yeah, before I started working as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I just had off that weekend and said, let's drive to Ohio.
Yeah. How long is that
That's
drive?
what we should've done.
We've been just
Like
throwing
9
out-
hours.
9 hours.
We should have done.
Yeah, we totally should have done that.
Yeah, it's so much fun, especially the animal cage. So I went because Pete Rubish, who's from
Right.
Cambridge,
Yeah.
who you guys should definitely have on. He's a great guy.
Let's do it. Pete.
He's down in he's down in Tennessee right now.
Is he
Anyway,
okay?
he was doing an 800-pound deadlift for an AMRAP in the animal cage. He got 8 reps.
Dear Lord.
Oh my god.
It was insane.
I did,
Yeah, that was
that
insane.
I did that this morning.
I remember this time because you were like
Yeah.
close with Pete. I remember at the
I
time.
was not close with Pete. No, we never talked, but I wish I was.
You were maybe you were just talking about him so much that it felt like you
Probably.
were close with him. I think that's what it was.
At that time, like especially on YouTube, he was like the deadlift god.
Yes,
Like,
that's why I remember because he was
was-
super huge on YouTube for a little while.
yeah, like worldwide respected.
That was the only time I had ever heard about the animal cage was back then because you had said something about it and I was like, what even is the animal cage? Is there a tiger in there while he's repping?
I remember watching Dan Green do some messed up stuff, but yeah,
Yeah, good days. Steph Cohen squatting 500 pounds.
dude, yeah.
Dude, oh my god, that's so long ago already.
John Hack was in there this year.
Yeah, this year.
We were gonna interview and Eddie Cohen,
Nice.
but he didn't wake up for the interview.
I wouldn't have either.
It's okay.
It was like 6 in
It's
the
okay.
morning. So
It was
he's an
very
older man. And
early.
it was like 6 in the morning. He's like,
it was very early. Okay,
yeah.
and
I
that's
wouldn't
okay.
have got up either.
That's okay. That's okay.
It is okay.
I mean, that's okay. If you're Eddie Cohen, you can sleep through it.
He's a legend. We have
That's
to work
fine.
up to somebody like
Yeah,
that.
no, that's fine.
And you guys are on to bigger, better things. You're at Wisco
We're with
Barbell Club.
Dakota, dude.
Exactly.
Do you have any idea the bars that have been bent here?
Hey,
Dude?
but Eddie, well, still, if you want. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that's we watch a lot of strongman. We went to OSG. This
Yeah,
last year,
which was cool.
fun. And I see you have strongman implements out there. Do you have a decent amount of people that come in and train strongman?
Not as much as we'd like,
Yeah.
So my business partner Eric, he's he's the amateur strongman competitor.
Oh,
So
okay.
all that stuff is his. But we have like 3,000 pounds worth of sand out there.
Yeah, I
It's
saw.
insane. But yeah, I mean, like we've always had hopes to make our own Atlas stones and all that kind of stuff. But he even hosts a free strongman Saturday like seminar course.
Oh, that's cool.
Basically just a workout.
Yeah.
First Saturday of each month.
Dope.
Sometimes it's really well attended. Sometimes
Yeah.
1 or 2 people show up.
Yeah, that's cool. Just to
We
have.
should do that.
It's just a really big it's a tight niche.
It is.
strongman,
Yeah.
especially in Madison, where it's like Madison leans left. I feel like most people's perspective of just strength sports in general leans right for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you like going out there and talking to people, it's a pretty mixed bag. But
It is.
Well, this would be guessing, but that was what I was getting at before with not having any powerlifting high school powerlifting teams around us. Because I think it's the same thing where it's like in general, people are not super excited about it because they see a lot of the other
it's less
like
academic.
other connotations to it. But
Yeah. More brawn, not enough brain.
yeah. But it's funny because like you talk to these guys, but it's funny if you like talk to people who care about strength, they're like, I mean, they're
The ones
they're
that we're
not-
speaking with, they're like super
I
soft
mean,
spoken half the time.
or they're incredibly analytical. Like
Yeah.
I mean, they write up. They're using they're building their own programs a lot of the time. They're figuring out all this stuff, and they know, their anatomy and physiology knowledge is probably better than anybody. And it's funny that there's that sort of misrepresentation of who these people are. Like I know bodybuilders get that a lot, where they're big dumb guys, and yet
Well,
they're
yeah, it's just
I
like
was gonna say I think bodybuilders are in that other camp though.
Yeah.
There's a lot like the I don't know. I'm not gonna name any names, but there's the big giant guys that are just like, this is what feels the best on these lats, so this is what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Or
no
they're like,
science involved.
Right.
At all.
or they're like, I don't have a plan. I just go in the gym and work out what I need to
Like
work out.
Dorian Yates, like historically, like
Yeah.
that kind of shit. Just like
yeah, I think there was the concept like of the juice
the
head
little-
where you're like,
Well, there's
oh yeah,
no-
that's just the lunk who's like not doing it. He's just putting up weight and he doesn't care until he's like bleeding. And you're like, well,
until
that-
that shit hurts. And then gets it
yeah,
down.
yeah. You're like, okay, I don't know if that's good for you, but it's fine.
I mean, and some of that may come from some side effects from some
For sure.
peds.
yeah,
But I mean, that happens.
Just putting your whole life into something so
right.
Right. I can't think of who's the little Irish guy, the like jacked Irish dude. He works out at the Dragon's Lair in Las Vegas. I can't think of his name right now. But he always talks about like I just go in and do whatever I want to do. It's like, okay, good luck.
I mean, I guess if you don't have like a goal,
I go in spurts like that. I call
Right.
it intuitive training. So it's like sometimes I'm on a hard program where I'm doing every single thing I wrote down. Sometimes I'm doing like right now I'm preparing for like a bench and deadlift meet at Ford's gym.
Sweet.
So I'm like, I wrote a program for bench press and deadlifts,
Mhm.
and like everything, all my accessories is kind of like a free for all basically.
Sure.
Whatever feels good in the moment.
Mhm.
And then other times it's like no program at all, and I'm just going in there and like feeling good. Usually try to keep those sparingly,
Sure.
right?
I like to try to stick to a program, but
But I guess it's like, if, and that's the other thing. It's like, I'm sure somebody like Dorian Yates, it's like, even if he's going in like that, he has experience for, decades in his mind. Same thing with you. It's like you're experienced, you have this knowledge to bring into something like that. But if you're like, and it's another thing if you're just commenting that you go in to just work out. If you're putting out information that that you're not you're teaching 0 people, that's fine if that's the point you're trying to get across. But I would assume that people who enjoy working out and are trying to get bigger typically like to also spread that good word for the most part from what you see. Like I said, that lunkhead, juicehead type mentality is one, I don't see it at all in strongman. I just don't think it's physically possible. But like you said, from the powerlifter like standpoint, it seems like it still can be a thing, but it's far less than it ever has.
Too, but
I'm sure you can in strongman, but it's not gonna. There's no longevity to that.
well, there's I mean we don't have to go into it, but I mean in the world of strongman, there's the open class versus the weight class.
Right.
There's definitely a bit of a
I think
thing there. But before we get away from it, so you said when's this competition at Ford's?
29th of March.
Okay. Feeling good?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah, I was really focused on squats for the longest time, and I really hadn't done anything on deadlifts for a minute,
Okay.
like the whole year.
yeah.
So I'm kind of getting back into that and kind of retested some maxes, and I think I'll be able to hit some acceptable numbers.
Cool.
Ben's trying to get himself involved in a meet. Maybe you could talk to him.
Jeez, just sign up.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, I signed up for one in May in Milwaukee.
I mean, this is a pretty casual one. It's just 2 of the 3 lifts, you know.
Yeah, I'm just not strong.
Last sign up date is in 2 days.
What's that?
Last sign up date is in 2 days.
No, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. We could go maybe. I don't know.
Right. We could go support Dakota, the Wisco Barbell Club.
So have you competed relatively consistently or?
No, so I've never done a full powerlifting competition. I did one bodybuilding show.
What classifies as a full powerlifting competition?
Bench, squat, and deadlift.
All 3 lifts.
Full power.
All on the same day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and usually sanctioned by some sort of governing power.
Yeah.
But like something like this is just 2 lifts.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like a fun
exhibition
thing.
event, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
We've hosted a couple of those here too.
Oh, that's
where
fun.
We have a lot of our clients just to kind of dip their toes in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just going for PRs basically. But the only other thing I did was like a team powerlifting event, which I thought was really cool. And that's the model that we adopted for our couple of meets that we've done too.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of having one person do all 3 lifts, you have 3 people do 1 lift.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So one person does squat, one person does bench, one person does
It's more of a team thing. Yeah, that's fun.
And then you only got to focus on one thing. It's
Right.
not like an all-day thing, you know?
Right.
It was pretty cool.
So when you as for totals, do you do some sort of one of the calculations
Dot
based
score,
on
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, for that.
How's
Sweet.
that work?
There's an equation to it. I don't even know offhand, but it takes your gender, your weight, and the weight that you lifted all into account.
Oh, okay.
And then for the meet that I'll do is just total for the 2 numbers.
Sweet.
And this one in Milwaukee, Ben, what is this one for? Is this
It's
all 3
full,
lifts?
full power.
Full.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or it's all 3.
You ever competed?
I like calling full
No.
power.
I'm pooping my pants. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's okay. I don't know. I'm gonna show up and I've told myself I'm just gonna show up and I'm gonna lift some heavy things and then leave.
There you go.
Because I don't like.
You lift regularly. I mean,
It's
that's
fun.
all. I mean,
I think it's it seems accessible. But you said you did some. Do you have any meat-ish things planned coming up here?
I'd like to do here. No, nothing in the works right now. We're like I said, we're going through a transition from 3 partners to 2.
Sure.
And that's kind of just taking most stuff. So now we're splitting up 3 people's responsibilities to 2 people. So we're pretty busy. But we were doing it biannually, twice a year at one point.
Okay.
So we did 3 of them total. But yeah, we'll do another one probably in the fall. I'm guessing.
do it, yeah, and then let us know, and then Ben could get involved.
There's 3 of us.
What does that
Just
mean?
saying, guys.
It'd be a great team.
Oh, the team, the strong casualty. That would be.
I say we do it.
That would be fun.
What would you do, Ben? Bench, squat, or deadlift? What do you think is your
He'd
best
do
lift?
bench.
Oh my god.
He would do bench.
No.
100%.
Oh my god, no.
You can figure out your
benching.
dot score for each one. So
But
you
if
can figure
you
out
hate
which is the
bench,
highest.
Yeah.
we definitely hate bench. 'Cause
No, I would
we
squat.
don't bench.
I would squat or deadlift.
Nice.
I could, yeah.
Give us the harder ones. So we could squat like barely the
No,
bar.
but you don't. But so you're my like. We don't have time. So
Break it down, Ben.
I carry a lot of weight. My numbers,
gonna count
like
against
my
you.
score is going to look a lot better if I'm squatting or deadlifting. Whereas if you guys put up some decent bench numbers, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but what if we're secret fat and then our numbers are way worse? Because we're secret. We put the weight in different places. And then our weight is way low.
Right.
You know?
Ben will even you out.
Yeah.
It'd be
unless
middle
you're
of the
unless you got unless you have adamantium on your bones, I think you're probably okay.
What if I have a liver disease come the thing, and then
That's a weird turn, man.
it is. But I can't lift as heavy when I have liver disease, dude. That's just the point I'm trying.
So you said you'd like to do a faux
We will
meet sometime?
sponsor. We would love to sponsor that event, though. Also, if you guys do one, we will definitely sponsor
Oh
that
heck yeah!
and advertise it.
Do some interviews.
Yeah, dude, that would rule.
Yeah,
We've gotten a few members out of that,
Huh?
hosting those.
Did you?
Yeah, people just tell friends and
Yeah.
stuff. And
I think we should come do one of those Saturday strongman things too.
yeah, you guys got to meet Derek. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do a full meet sometime?
Yeah, sometime for sure.
Yeah. What's holding you back? Why now do you want to do stuff like?
Well, I'm not the strongest I've ever been, which pisses me off.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm battling this whole age thing. being
We're getting
30 years
older,
old now.
dude. We're not in the prime anymore.
I know.
When you
It's
get
hard.
to literally, once you get to 30, you find out your prime was like when you were 19.
Dude, that's not
And
true.
you're like, wait, whoa, nobody told me that. That I should have done the
No,
thing.
lots of people told you that.
No,
refuse
no.
to
They told
believe
me to do math. They told me to do math and stuff. And
So-
and homework.
pre-COVID, I think I was the strongest I was like ever.
Yeah.
And I was really obsessed with deadlifting, and that was like by far my best lift. And then COVID happened, we all like got shut out of gyms for
Yeah.
4 months. So I took as much weight as I could from Anytime Fitness into my loft, basically apartment that I had, and tried to deadlift there, and just did not work very well.
Yeah, I can
upstairs.
imagine. Yeah.
The floor caved in because I was deadlifting so heavy.
90-year-old house. It was not good.
That's a terrible idea.
So then my max went from like, I literally lost like probably 20% off my max, which is a massive amount. And I just never really be able to like got that back yet. But
So are you trying to prove something to yourself right now?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My squat and my bench are like the heaviest they've ever been. So I just got to get the deadlift number back there, and then I'll be, I'll be good.
You think it just dropped just from simply not doing it?
Yeah. From not, I mean, I was doing it twice a week for like literally years.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID was a big deal. I mean, COVID, I think, hit a lot of people like that too. I mean, like, I took the route of just like buying a shitty half rack and putting it in my garage because like it was like you can't go to the gym anymore. So like just put the money I'd pay for a membership into some equipment, which is now what we do. But like that had to take a hit. I mean, I can imagine being a gym owner during that. Like, I mean,
I wasn't a gym owner during that. I was just an employee there. But
no, I know, but I mean, I can't imagine if you were in that situation. That
any
would be
membership
like,
type thing during that time would just
a
be
difficult
a lot
situation.
of cash flow.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I worked for the company I did, and they have lots of money.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Somebody like Planet or Anytime or Snap, that expendable money, I'm sure, I mean, it kept them alive, or else it would have, everybody would have shut down. I mean, how did then post COVID, how did you go back into working out? Like, did you immediately start going back to the gym?
Yeah, so once there was like murmurs of the gyms being able to open again, I think I had keys there the whole time, so I just started sneaking in.
You were still with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were furloughed, so like basically just laid off for months. So I was like collecting unemployment from the government, but then getting my insurance paid for by the company.
Oh wow, that's convenient. That was nice. That's super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day there was just like, all right, Monday we can be open up.
Sweet.
So do you? How it happened?
Yeah. So you said you were thinking about moving stuff around. Do you have any other plans for the gym?
What do you want to do?
Yeah. So as you guys saw, we at the big gym space. We got these 4 offices, always open for like passive income and stuff. We've had a few of them rented in the past. We just don't have any right now. Mm-hmm. And then we also own the studio next door.
Oh, okay.
So you saw the business in the front. There's 3 technically.
Yeah.
In the back here, we have the 2, and then my landlord has the last one. But that middle space is like it's like 1,800 square foot room, and it's like basically set up. We set it up for like a yoga studio. And we couldn't really make that a viable option in like the short term, but we decided to keep hanging on to it, and we rent it out to one of the businesses in front right now just to cover costs. But we're kind of hanging on to that in our back pocket. We want to probably go all into the yoga thing.
People do love it.
With my other trainer.
You'd be into that.
Nah, that's tough, dude. It's like CrossFit, dude.
It's not that tough. I think it's actually quite easy.
I've done it.
Be fine.
I've done it, but it's you want to do like the hot, like the whole thing, like the hot yoga as well,
no,
or
probably not hot yoga.
Goat yoga,
cold yoga,
goat yoga, dog yoga. I usually bring my dog here.
Dog yoga.
Yeah, that would be pretty fire. But the nails would hurt.
We get a lot of people signing up because my dog is here.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Is this a dog-friendly facility? Of course.
Well, like for me, it is. Like you can't.
This is not a dog-friendly facility, everybody. Let me clear that out. Don't bring your dog. Dakota doesn't want to see it. He has a cute dog. Okay.
That would just be like we thought about it many times.
It's a conflict of interest.
If like one dog pisses on the turf or something, like
it's
I'm not having that.
No. Yeah, no, it's. I don't want people bringing their dogs to my place. So don't bring it to the gym.
Well, then you'd have dog on dog action. You probably don't.
You're right. Yeah, the fur would be flying.
Shit and piss.
Oh man,
the fur would be so flying, dude.
They'd be at each other's necks.
I'm already vacuuming once a day. I don't need to do more than that.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what you get for an open air concept. I mean, it's just stuff's blowing around, but it creates a sick environment.
Yeah,
totally worth it. Yeah.
You totally worth it.
Well, I don't have to do any work, so of course it's totally worth it.
Yeah. No, it is, man. Yeah, I spend a lot of time cleaning and shit, but it's all worth it. Like none of it feels like work to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys are open 7 days a week?
24/7.
Come on, Ben. Come on down. Ben's 6 feet away. He really should just come down.
I know I am ready.
But when you have a space at your place, it's also tough to like.
Well, I like
You
so
should donate all that equipment. I'll give you like 6 months free.
Oh, well,
He has a half rack and a full rack now, so and
I just bought him.
and a new rower and
Yeah.
and he's but he's also the reason he should get rid of it is because he's threatening to just keep buying things nonstop. So he gets addicted to just looking up stuff on Marketplace and then
Yeah, dude. It's
Yeah.
It's
Well,
an algorithm
that's the
like
problem. That's
100% weights.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just people wanting like crazy money for stuff that's not worth anything
Yeah.
that they're doing. Which I am looking for a cable stack. If anybody has like two. No, I completely lost what I was gonna say. Oh, well, so I had a trainer for a very small period of time, and then I like couldn't afford it. But my he talked about this idea of like the difference between working out at a gym and working out at home, and how like
It was huge for me.
yeah, and how like because I told him that I bought this stuff at home and I was just gonna like start doing that, and he was like, well, like it's gonna be a change because just going to the gym is like you've done something. Like, hey, I came here. So what? I didn't have a great workout, or I didn't do what I wanted to do, but I like did a thing. I came here and I went home, and like, I don't know if I have a question, but it's just like, do you see that in your clients? Like they just feel successful just like being here,
And myself
and doing a
included.
thing.
Like when we were furloughed, I brought like hundreds of pounds of weights to my place, like while we were furloughed to try to work out there, and I just couldn't do it. Like I did a couple workouts outside. What I like is like a decently, not an empty gym, but like some people in there. I feel way more motivated.
yeah.
Sure.
Dude, I don't want an empty gym and I don't want a full gym.
Yeah, I don't want to be waiting around for shit. But
it's as simple as the concept of I work from home, and immediately, when COVID hit, everybody wanted to work from home. But it's like, it's been a long time. I would prefer to not be working at home. I'd prefer to be going to a destination and then I would literally be able to do nothing at work and I'd feel accomplished just from going to work.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the house, just to motivate yourself to get out of the sweatpants, just do the thing, do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do what I do unless the guys that come over to work out with me, if they didn't come over, I don't think I'd. I mean, it's like they're my motivation to be like, okay, well, I got to go do the thing now because they're here.
For sure.
But yeah, I like the idea of having a gym to go to, and
Yeah.
That's what we try to make this place was like. We know we don't have like a main street location, right? So we're not gonna you're not gonna
picking up
just
street
see us.
traffic.
Yeah, exactly. So you do have to like go out looking for gyms. We want to make this place like a destination place. You can come here. It's 24/7. You can be here as long as you want. You got the sauna. You can use that afterwards. I mean, a lot of my people are here for 2 hours some days. Doing the workout and the sauna, stretching afterwards, all that.
do you have like what is your busiest time or day?
Like early morning, like my busiest class is 6 a.m. There's usually a few other people working out. A couple people had already left by the time I get in, and then 5 p.m. for sure, like just like most gyms. So again, another full class, usually 10 people in those classes, and then the gym anywhere from 2 to 10 other people working out in the gym at a time during that hour.
Sure.
That's awesome.
But we have so one thing we experimented with, we have a lunchtime membership.
I saw on our website. Yeah.
So instead of just the full like 24/7 access, we give you access for just 2 hours in the day from noon to 2, and then we cut the rate almost in half or more than half. So it's only $25 a month, and we got a few people on that.
Okay.
And why did you do that? And is it working?
Well, I mean, one person asked for it, and it's it's just a no cost thing for us.
Yeah.
You know, it was either going to give us $25 extra a month, or it's not going to get us anything.
Right.
So it's working.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah, I mean, it limits their key fob access, so it's like the incentive if they ever want to come at any other time is just to pay another $25, $30 more a month, and then they can have the full access.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. Most of the time, you only need those two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are the people who are like they work in the area but live a little further away, so they come just on their lunch break.
Okay.
Sweet.
So is it like accessed for a specific time?
Yep. Yeah, just those 2 hours. Like the door will open for you with your key fob just for those 2 hours.
Okay.
And you said you're working classes. Do you have any like in the future? Do you think you'd take on personal, like singular people?
Yeah, I've been asked. It's all about like how valuable my hours are really.
Sure.
So if I'm, if I got 4 people in front of me that are paying $400 an hour, if I'm gonna train one person for 1 hour, like what do they have to pay? You
Right.
know, just to
Right.
make it worth it.
And
Plus,
then, yeah, I guess you don't want to put it at a premium cost, so it's like out of.
I do want
out-
to make it affordable.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know, and it's like if I want to train, if I want to pick up one more client, I want them to train 4 or 5 times a week, and I'd rather it be with me. So it's
Right.
an extra 4 or 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you ever consider doing like online programming for people and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not very good at marketing myself at all, or social
Sure.
media, or just technology in general.
Yeah.
I have had a couple online clients, but it's definitely different. I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
and social
impersonal.
media and online is like marketing it's hard. Like unless you know
Yeah.
what you're doing and like you love fitness and you love training, you're like, but I don't love putting my face on the internet. Like that's not what
Yeah, I
your
think
thing
there's
is.
like a bare minimum that you can do that can reap a lot of benefits. Like just having any kind of presence, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or like for a while, for what I was doing is just like following anybody in Madison I could find on Instagram, just so
Yeah.
they would follow back. And because of that, I think it just like put out into the ether that like somebody goes to Wisco Barbell Club, or like they just have
Yes.
that name in their
Yeah.
mind, you know?
Totally.
So like just bare minimum shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, making one post, like taking a picture of the gym and promoting that on Facebook seems to be like just as good as if I did have like a couple like really good like marketing ads, and
Yeah.
they just didn't do as much. You know?
Right.
I know I
mean,
could probably get over that hump if I was way better at it, but I'm just not. you
But
know?
I think like I don't know. I think that a lot of the other side of that too is that like doing what you do well, and then being able to show that on social media, which is far different from like being
Yeah.
really good at social media but not having
Yeah.
no substance.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's sort of like a lot of the people that like I feel like have gotten famous with or gotten big using social media. It's not because it's obviously in part that because they know how to use it, but it's also based on like a substantive thing. Like you're good at what you do. Here you've got like a I don't know, a vibe. You've got the whole deal, and then it's just putting that out there rather than just trying to like fabricate something that you can put online.
Right.
And I think that's a better way to do it.
Yeah, I think like skyrocketing to success is like sometimes it's magic and lightning.
It's like us. We were an overnight success.
Yeah, sometimes it's lightning in a bottle, like you and I.
We went from like 20 to 25 downloads in a matter of a day.
Other times, it's a long.
25% gain.
It is.
This is
it
we're
is.
kind of for that.
If we're talking percentages here,
This is our full-time gig now.
we both quit our 40-hour jobs. We don't really care. We have nothing going for us except families. But other than it's like skyrocketing.
It's a dream, Anthony.
It's like I think like in your sense, it's like having a more homegrown gym coming from word of mouth, like 8 to 10 years in the future, I feel it's going to be a more valuable gym in what you're offering than somebody who is putting out an ad every single second of every day. Because you get inundated with ads for dog shit every single day of our lives that you don't even think twice about.
I've never gotten an ad for dog shit.
Well, you're not getting the right ads.
So
Come
my
to my-
algorithm.
Yeah, dude, I can tweak your algorithm for $399 an hour.
It's all iron plates for
Give me your
$250 a pound. or something.
Just give me your phone for 1 hour. I'll fix the algo. I promise.
Dear Lord.
It's gonna be fixed. You're not gonna get dog. You're gonna get some dog shit. I promise.
But I feel like you've already overcome. Like, I mean, you're still here 2 years later, and I feel like a lot of the startups or a lot of like small businesses don't even make it that long. So I mean, you're clearly doing things right.
A lot of it's retention in my clients. So like how
Sure.
I'm like not good at selling myself like externally, like I do it internally. So I always give a first free class. Most people stick around after that, especially if they've experienced other classes elsewhere, like an Orange Theory or a Base Camp or something like that. They see how it's different here, and how much goes into it.
Do those people end up being references for? Do you get it pulling from them too?
Yeah, often. Yeah, usually for like each client, it's like one person, whether it's like their spouse or their friend or somebody usually gets somebody else in.
Sure.
So almost always word of mouth.
yeah, because I'm trying to think. Like, Madison? Do we have like what would be like the premium high end gyms in Madison?
Madtown Fitness for sure. So
What
honestly,
do they
I think-
charge like a month? It's
I
like,
think like 70, 75.
Okay.
In my opinion, like without being biased, I think they're probably one of the best gyms in the Midwest.
Yeah. No, what are they focusing on though?
'Cause
Is
John
that just
Hack is
like
there.
It's bodybuilding and powerlifting.
okay?
So they have like every machine you could think of.
Yeah.
So that's great for bodybuilding. And they have kilo calibrated plates, so that's good for powerlifting. And then they have all the like the necessary like benches, the combo racks, the monoliths, all that kind of stuff.
Like anything you would need basically to lift.
Good strongman equipment. They really do have like everything.
Really? They've been there for a long time, right?
Yeah, so they switched locations a few years back, but they've only gotten bigger and bigger, you know.
Yeah.
And they have John Hack.
Well,
Yeah. Dude, they have a lot of like really popular people actually. It's
I bet they do now. John Hack's just been doing it forever.
they just happen to also have the strongest person pound for pound in the world.
Yeah. He's just there. He just happens to be there. It's like, but then you have like somebody like, what's a Ford's gym offer people? Since they've been there for 70,
school vibe.
85 years.
Nostalgia. I was going to
Yeah,
say.
for
It's like the
real.
West Side Barbell of Wisconsin. It's
Kind of,
Ford's
yeah.
gyms.
Yeah, I mean, people still love it. I mean, people still talk highly of Ford's gym and stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
where I'm going for that competition. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Ford still works there, still at the front desk.
And I mean,
crazy.
they do more than I think just the
It's
bench.
like a boxing gym.
Oh, yeah, it's more
The-
boxing, like Muay Thai and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely still outfitted for like a great gym.
Yeah, because I've seen over the years them like kind of move into martial arts as MMA obviously took hold, but I remember it started out as the lifting gym.
Yeah, especially for like powerlifting stuff too.
Yeah,
And then we got Twisted Fitness right off the 30.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
They're a little bit more Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff.
MMA specific stuff. Yeah,
And they're from what I hear, they're like pretty tough on things too.
yeah. I had a
Don't
friend.
allow you to do certain things
I
in
gotcha.
certain areas and stuff. And
Yeah, I had a friend who went there who wanted to train MMA, and it's just I mean, obviously there's parts of the gym that have rings and stuff, so like all the different martial arts are different stuff, but it seems pretty expensive too. Obviously, when you're doing something like that where there's multiple martial arts being trained, I'm sure it's different. But even I mean, Madtown for $70 a month is nothing. I think this was like it's like 80 or something, 100 and something a month for any time for Twisted, and then the other one Chosen Few. There's like a lot of boxing and wrestling gyms now too, which is really interesting.
yeah, the other, I mean, you guys will start to come to realize these too, but like there's a lot of other smaller independent gyms like myself. They're all from the Anytime Fitness tree.
Oh, really? Like, do you have friends who have opened gyms?
Yeah, plenty of them. So there's a guy named Max. His wife used to work for Anytime Fitness for many years. They opened up a gym, and you guys should check out. Actually, it's called the Ranch in Marshall.
Oh yeah. I was gonna do a powerlifting meet there.
Oh, really?
Like this weekend,
Oh, nice.
or was it?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
coming weekend.
Yeah, they got one this weekend. Yeah, they do great, and they're really into the powerlifting niche, and they have a lot of like young kids. So they started like a powerlifting team at their high school and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's not like through Marshall High School, but it's through them. So like they basically sponsor them and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then right down the road, a woman named Hallie started a gym called Unbox Fitness with her husband. They both worked for Anytime Fitness.
Sweet.
And then another one in Wanakee called M3.
Okay.
All like real small.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Max at the Ranch seems to be doing like really, really well. Whereas the other two are like, they're quite new yet, still within a year and a half.
I mean, Marshall. That's just something like it's like if you brought one to Deerfield. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's bound to be a success because it's not a chain, and it's like
And he's getting people from all the neighboring towns too.
Yeah.
Who still don't want to drive into Madison.
well, it's like all those
Sure.
small towns. All those are interpersonal connections. If you're working in like a small town like that, like you're instantly going to be, like
It's something to do.
like you don't have
It's a
options.
new community center.
Yeah, you don't have
Just go
options.
lift
So
heavy
it's like
things.
if I can spend less than $50 a month on something that's not just another streaming service, and I can leave the house and go do something and work out, which Marshall had. Did they have a Snap?
Yeah, actually, it was in that same strip mall he's in now.
Oh, that's where they are in that strip mall
Yeah, I think it's actually probably the same location.
on the like right on the outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never actually been there. I just almost signed up for the.
No, the
I
Snap.
didn't have a USAPL membership though.
Yeah.
I do now though.
It's the thing about strength
Costs
sports,
money.
It always costs more than you could ever win.
Yeah,
Right, like how much is it? You have to.
It's-
Do you have to
it's-
sign up for that
it's
card?
a hobby.
Do you have to
Yeah,
sign up for the
$20
membership?
Annual fee.
Yeah.
It's like I don't remember what the cost was, but then I mean the meet itself is like $100 or
Same
more.
with bodybuilding too. It was like to get your amateur cards 100, to get your spray tan it's 100,
Right.
and then of course you have to train the whole time.
Right.
Right.
Do you think there's a point, like where do you think we are in the range from like good market to saturated as far as like gyms of
Still.
your size?
I think it's still totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was like originally starting to want to open a gym, I would always say like it was going to be not in Madison because I thought Madison was just oversaturated. But then thinking about like logistically, like having so many connections and clients already here in Madison, it was just kind of a no-brainer.
Sure.
To have all that revenue day one was life-saving. But still, even though like think about what I said earlier, like 550 members per Anytime Fitness location. There's like 5 or 6 of those, right? There's probably another 10 independent gyms, 2 Planet Fitnesses, 2 Princeton clubs. Add all that together, and you're probably getting like 50,000 people, 100,000 people
in
at
a
most.
town of
Dear
us.
Lord.
More than 300,000.
Yeah.
You know, plus the outskirts, like you got some prairies and the Wanakees, the forest. Like there's so much more room to grow. But that's of course coming from somebody who wants every single person to be working out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, what's the closest gym to you?
There's a lot, dude.
What's the what's your biggest competition in the nearby area? I guess.
Both Anytime Fitnesses.
Yeah.
Atwood Avenue. All 3 of them actually. Sherman Avenue, and then Cottage Grove Road.
Damn, there's so many Anytimes around here.
And the one in Cottage Grove. So I'm basically in the middle of like 4 of them. Unbox is like right down Stoughton Road.
They're your friend. You should tell him to move.
She'd come here too, and we were talking about.
Oh, really? That's so
I'm like,
funny.
yeah, you definitely should.
No
She
way.
lived, like, a mile away.
I'll do
That's
right
crazy.
here.
Yeah.
I like
a
this
good
spot. This is a
location.
good
Yeah.
spot. It's comfy right here. Oh, hey, Dakota.
What are you doing here?
Get off my lawn, lady. What is going on?
Yeah, other than that, like Fords, like we don't lose anybody to other gyms, really,
Right.
But
And I mean, as a new gym, in theory, it's like if they're coming to your gym, it's just very specific to your thing, and it's like if you're not into the vibe of this gym, probably just go to a Madtown Fitness or a a Playtime Fitness, you know.
not a Madtown, but
Yeah.
time or
Playtime.
I like a Playtime Fitness. Yeah, but it's like just go to a big gym if you're like, because it's just a perfect environment for somebody who doesn't lift or somebody who does lift because it has everything for both.
It's so funny you say that. We had a comedy show here a couple months back. It's from Don't Tell Comedy. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
ever
Yeah,
heard
they
of
do
that
pop-up
organization.
shows.
Yeah, great organization. They'll be back at some point too.
Awesome.
But one of the guys said he was like looking up. It was in the gym, right? So it was on the turf space that
Yeah.
we did it. And the guy's looking around the gym. He goes, "This looks like a gym that I have to go to a gym to go to this gym."
Yeah.
And we kind of did go for that vibe a little bit. Like we want it welcoming for everybody, but it is like especially for like the bronze membership. It's a lot of people who have like been lifting for 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
and they want something just that next tier up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not too much at the
Right,
same time.
right.
Yeah.
I did hear that on a recent tour. Somebody said there's too much to offer. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I disagree. I wholly disagree with
Like,
your
what other
assessment.
gyms have you been going to?
You don't have to do all of it, dude. Right. You just
Well, and I feel like that's probably coming from a perspective of like someone that doesn't know much,
Yeah, you
not much
basically
about
say,
what you're doing. Because
yeah.
like,
I mean, it's also crazy that they're just even touring a gym if they have that little knowledge. I mean, you send up for a tour,
Well,
like a
but-
gym tour, like that's crazy to not know. Like,
well, I gotta imagine you get everybody, and I mean, there's like
sure.
people that come in from all sorts of places and different knowledge levels, and
I know I would just never think to tour a gym. I guess. Oh,
yeah,
this one
everything
you,
from like super abstract, like my doctor says I should lift weights.
Yeah.
To like what another recent tour I had, this guy showed me an AI picture of himself and said, "I want to look like this."
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I can do that in a year and a half.
You're like, bro, me too, dude.
I mean, that's interesting. So wait, so that's a good. So do you have a lot of like when people come in and they have like a goal? Well, I guess that's my question. Do a lot of people come in and say like, here are my numbers, or here's what I want, or is it people just being like, I don't know, I want to be healthier?
Or is it? Do they have?
Yeah.
I want to be this cartoon image of myself, but that's not feasible.
That's
Like,
pretty rare.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, honestly.
It is way more the general health stuff. I feel like if a lot of people have like a certain goal, it usually is down the powerlifting or bodybuilding route,
Sure.
in which they'll hire a coach
Sure.
that advertises that they're a bodybuilder or powerlifting coach.
Sure.
90% of the time, what I get is just like, I used to lift weights and I liked it,
Sure.
or I know I should be doing this, or like, you know,
Yeah.
something happened in their life, like their mom broke their hip and now can't walk and shit. And she doesn't want that to happen to her.
Or something like you, like what happened, like what you got inspired.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, or just being a little twerp and
Right.
not wanting to be pushed around.
dude. I feel that, dude.
Maybe you should start.
Sick of being a dweeb, dude.
Sign up, dude. Everett just signed up finally after 2 years.
Did he?
Yeah.
Our friend Everett, he's too big anyway, but he's like he's got those. Everett has like popcorn muscles, but like so he's like formerly from being just a massive guy for no reason.
He's just a massive guy.
There's always a reason to be a massive guy.
No, but not with him. He never had a reason. He was just always massive and then got more massive.
There's reasons on there. have him on the show. He'll talk to you
Everett
3 hours.
I would love to bring Everett on. He's a good guy. He cares about lifting a lot, Ben.
I mean, that was Brandon at my age.
Yeah.
He was just always jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, he put work in. He still
Brandon?
does, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he put work in, but he was. I mean, like, I remember going to the weight. I went to the weight room with him once.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah.
No, yeah. And he also had glamour muscles, but they also did work half the time. But he
was. He was Marcus and Levi from me.
Yeah.
A little younger than you guys.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, do you find that how many of your clients are people who don't even really have to like work? I mean, obviously, of course, everybody has to work for it. But do you have plenty of people who just come in with natural ability where you're like, they didn't even think they could do what they were doing?
Yeah, much more at this gym than Anytime Fitness.
Really?
Which I thought is really noteworthy that I observed. Like, though my coaching has gotten better and better over the last 8 years, I feel like I need it less and less.
You're finding more abled people.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's not a big box, but it's like 9 times out of 10 now. I really hardly have to I have to correct like very little.
Yeah.
It's safety is like pretty good, pretty decent form overall. Now I'm just like really like optimizing and doing these acute things. But back in Anytime Fitness, it was like, holy shit, like that's a squat to you.
Yeah, it's ground up. Yeah. It's real ground up stuff.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's start by just lowering yourself down.
Yeah.
Do you think that has anything? I'm just thinking, like, do you think that has anything to do with from like people's access to like watching things on social media, looking at form and being like, or going on the God forbidden Reddit and just being like form check?
I don't think too many people are doing that.
Probably
not the people I see.
Probably not.
But
sorry, Ben lives on Reddit. We all live on Reddit.
I've
never put a video up on there because I don't want.
No,
I don't want
nobody
that.
needs
I
that.
don't want that to be a part of my life.
If you want to be real humble, go on Physique Critique.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds
I don't
awful.
even want to do that.
There's people who hate you for being who you are.
Awesome.
Or gay people just looking to solicit you. Yeah.
No. Sounds like
maybe
my
I should put it.
favorite
Maybe
place to
I
be.
might hit this Reddit up later.
We should post this on that Reddit. No, I'm kidding.
Rank
Please.
all of our physiques 1 through 3.
I don't know if that ranks very difficult, but
It's a tight ranking.
It
It's
is
a tight
what you
ranking
like.
metric.
it is. It is true. It's a buyer's market.
There's somebody for everybody. Okay.
It's a buyer's market in this room. I'm telling you. You can have anything
I
you
don't
want.
know. I don't know how to move for.
Well, shoot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there anything
This
else
is-
that we haven't talked about? That you
Yeah.
want to talk about?
I mean, we could talk about like scaling a little bit, like big long-term plans.
So
Yeah.
where do we go from here?
So we're talking about like kind of how to do this a little bit earlier, but basically what I'm envisioning is like outsourcing my own programming to other gyms.
Okay.
So this is what I'm thinking, like long-term, like retirement plan kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like the gym is very much sustainable. It'll be a good like moneymaker and stuff, but it's nothing that's gonna like have me make a shit ton of money. or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
Like that, it's a lot of breaking even and some nice profits every once in a while. But like what I really want, as far as like financial security for a long time, is to outsource training to like. So I have all these programs built out, right? And I've been doing this for 2 years, especially like my larger group training. I feel like there's a lot of smaller gyms or even like smaller commercial gyms that could use that kind of training. Just to like have one guy at the helm to teach their trainers how to like implement all these things. So that's what Anytime Fitness started with until they bought the damn company. But,
Right.
Have you guys heard of Alloy Fitness?
Mm-mm.
They're a pretty new gym in West Side, I think, but they started out as just like one original location down in Georgia, and they created this programming and they ran their own programming with their clients, and they started outsourcing to gyms. So like Andy Gunlock at Anytime Fitness bought their programming for like $100,000 a year, like on a subscription service.
So like that's Anytime's programming now.
Yeah, and then they bought the programming side of like that company.
Oh, so he's just like, I'll just take that.
Sweet.
He did the same thing with a marketing thing too. He had
Yeah.
like a one of those like Facebook marketers that do it for you, you know. And it was so successful for him. He's like, I'll just buy you out.
Dude, if I was that brilliant and I could put out stuff like that, just why would you not want to just get bought out? Like, I mean, you see that happen. You know, Shark Tank will do that. If they're like, some of those sharks will be like, oh, this is too good. I'll just take the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll just have 100%
And
of it.
if that lump sum is gonna be like, okay, yeah, for sure, yeah, like you, but some people are into that grind of like breaking their back to like make this work and make these things work, and some people are like, dude, I did the hard work. What's wrong with getting out scot free?
Is there a fear that like if you sold that, it's kind of like, I mean, it's your property, right? I mean, you came up with it, it's whatever. Like, is there a fear that like once that's out there, you know, it's like profits are going to tank because someone just copies all the stuff and moves it somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know if profits will tank, but it's like people will definitely steal it for sure.
Sure.
You know, and it'll make its rounds and stuff. Like most programs do, from like any of the big notable names.
Right.
You can find all of their programs for free online.
Right.
But it's, I don't know. It'd be tough to like. You probably would have to have some kind of like legal contracts and stuff with that, so it doesn't get out. But
I'm sure, but like you said, I mean, a lot of those things are out there and they still make money. So I mean,
Yeah,
they could-
exactly.
They're good. They'll do it. Would you ever?
I think a small niche of people who will steal it and probably will keep their mouth shut on it. You know. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Some gyms that don't know about it, they can buy it.
Would you ever open? Do you think you'd ever open another location?
Yeah, we've thought about that too. So like the main sticking point with that is like getting somebody you can trust and somebody who's going to be there for a really long time.
Sure.
So like my idea with that is just to have like no more gyms like this. Like open gym, like I said, is really not cost effective, but it's
Yeah.
the training that makes the money.
Sure.
So if we could have like one person, maybe two people, like run a club where it's like instead of 5,500 square feet, it's like 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And it's like just the necessities for like running a big class,
Sure.
a small class maybe.
Well, because you were saying you only have, how many people do you have here that run classes?
Just me and one other.
I mean, yeah, you need more people. I mean,
Yeah.
more people, period.
Yeah, I mean, we've already hit a spot in a few of the hours, like the 6 a.m. and the 5 p.m., where if somebody wants to join, like I have to be honest with them and say, like, you probably won't get into most classes that you want to.
Oh. Which is a bad and a good thing at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
because you can't get bigger necessarily. But so, like,
Yeah, it's like, it's always, it has to be like a perfect situation.
Yeah.
Like, I can always use more members at 9 a.m. You know, I could always use more members at
Right.
10 a.m.
Right.
You know, but it's like those peak hours. It's
right, and that's why those
happy
time
hour.
slots are there. Some people just can't make them, and
Yeah.
that's why they're empty because, well, I'm working, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, with the yoga thing, I'm going to have simultaneous classes go. So we'll do
Oh, okay.
yoga in one at the 5 o'clock while I do another one that should kind of like spread people
Yeah,
out a
for
little bit
sure.
more. People can alternate days.
And do you have like, you'd have to get a yoga teacher, or do you teach yoga classes also?
Well, the one I have now is actually, that's what her background is in.
Oh, perfect.
You could do it.
I kind of like
I could
mentored her to
also
be
do
a
it.
trainer.
Oh yeah. Oh, you could just.
Anthony's a trained yoga person.
There you go.
I've held positions. Well, it's been really, really nice talking to you, Dakota.
You know, you're not supposed to just hold the position. Okay.
I think you are actually.
Oh well, and we're not all in that place. Yeah, this has been great.
This has been super great, Dakota.
Thanks
We're,
for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll come back. I
Yeah.
want to do that strongman thing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you guys should.
yeah, we definitely will reach out to you about plenty more things. And honestly, even if, you know, we sat down with you and your partner even one time for another interview, would be super cool.
Yeah.
Just
He'd
to
be great on a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely get
Yeah,
some-
we didn't even talk about gear.
Dude,
It's true.
I know.
He can talk a lot.
And if he wants
He's
to talk
got
about
good
gear,
experience.
Ben wants to hear about gear. And I do too, to be honest. I really do.
He's even like done gear and then wanted to have a kid, so like weaned off and then weaned back on.
Hey, at least he's doing it right.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing it right.
Trying.
You gotta. Well,
Yeah.
well, shoot, Ben. I think this has been a super solid interview.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for a small, intimate, personal gym with great people around it, come join Wisco Barbell Club.
And just a solid gym.
I mean,
you
the
wanna-
best gym around.
Well, duh.
I mean, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Wisco Barbell Club.
Where can we find you?
Instagram would be at Wisco Barbell Club. And then we also have a Facebook.
Awesome.
And I think we probably have a TikTok and like an X account too. But I
Okay.
definitely never posted on either of those.
That's
Hey,
all
that's
right.
We're on the east side of Madison off of what road are we on?
Atlas Avenue.
Atlas Avenue.
Atlas Avenue.
Say Stoughton Road, Cottage Grove Road.
back by the bowling alley in a cottage cafe.
Come check out Wisco Barbell Club. And this is the Strong Casuals. If you're gripping,
We're talking.